Hey, do you listen to true crime podcasts for inspiration? Have you perfected acting mysterious in public just in case someone's watching? Well, congratulations, you might be an assassin. But what is an assassin? Well, make sure to grab your copy of Stalking Done Right, practice your butterfly knife tricks to impress your friends.
You shouldn't play with knives.
And never forget your Only the Killers playlist when mowing down hordes of enemies. The Assassin. Probably the most famous or infamous rogue subclass in 5e, not for their skills with shadow slinking or surgeon-like level knowledge of artery position, but for the goobers who play them. Being the first thing people think of when we talk about the rogue class, assassins have a fun reputation for grabbing the attention of the most, I don't trust the party, I'm just gonna kill random shop owners. I just sit there in the shadows, staring intensely and leaning against the back wall of the tavern. Kind of fun suckers to ever roll a icosahedron. But as cool as this may look in the movies, the strong, silent, I don't need anybody but myself, lone wolf kind of guys are really hard to be around if you get stuck next to them at a cocktail party. I mean, why do you think they canceled The Punisher after just one season or stopped letting John Wick talk? Hell, Batman doesn't even kill people and all his kids keep leaving or dying and not necessarily in that order. So does that mean the assassin is doomed by the Sasuke wannabes and Deathstroke cosplayers to be as goofy as the people that love them? Thankfully, no. The assassin, for all its faults, is popular for a reason. And while some of the most annoying and outspoken fanboys can unfortunately give this subclass a stink that turns off normal people, not all assassins are built the same, and that's a good thing. So if you're thinking of picking up this subclass, remember that the art of delivering death is for everyone, not just the wall leaners. So whether you're a cheery Terminator ready for a new job,
Oh boy, here I go killing again.
a stoic single-minded machine,
Your move, creep.
or a strange wandering psychopath,
Call it.
we'll find out what makes you Lord of the Edge. So, maybe you want to open your own dagger delivery service, as well as always know the location of the nearest hay bale so you can make a showy but undeniably impressive getaway. Well, to do that, you need to start out as a rogue. Rogues are good at stuff and by default gooder than you, so they get a lot of skills. You can pick up 4 skills at level 1 as well as gain expertise in 2 of them, so you might as well go for the assassin's hat trick and grab stealth, sleight of hand, perception, and deception, or get weird with it and make an athletic rogue to take out targets with a suplex of doom. Which will lead us right into the rogue's signature ability, Sneak Attack, to add an extra 1d6 of damage to any attack that meets the sneak attack criteria once per turn, and this damage increases by another d6 for every 2 levels we take in rogue. As well as Thieves Can't. Thieves can't what? Thieves can't think of a better joke for this dumb sounding ability. But luckily it just means we get to add a secret language onto our list that only rogues know, so we can send private messages to our sweetie about the last person we sent back to the farm, or discuss our roguish plans in Zoomer gibberish so everyone immediately tunes us out.
What the Sigma?
Like, what is that?
What the Sigma?
I don't understand.
What the Sigma?
But at second level, we'll get Cunning Action to dash, hide, or disengage as a bonus action, which sounds simple, but that extra movement and ability to hunt comes incredibly useful for gaining advantage and getting the drop on enemies. So play the classic duck and dodge technique to rack up that sweet sneaky, or do some rafter climbing to cannonball your way to victory. But this life of crime is hard, and pretty soon we'll graduate from petty robbery to full-on first degree and become a full-time assassin. As a killer for hire, our specialty is hits, making sure we can get in and get out quickly, and most importantly, without being seen. The job requirements are tough too, as infiltrating and delivering death at the right time is difficult, and will require us to not miss opportunities and use any weapon at our disposal. So to help us in our missions, we'll grab bonus proficiencies with the disguise kits to never be seen, and poisoner's kits to make our job much easier. But like many things, assassination is more art than science, and looky there, we might just be the Bob Ross of body bags. Now, anytime you have the drop on an enemy, meaning they haven't taken a turn in combat, your attacks are automatically at advantage, which gives you sneak attack. But it gets better. If that attack lands on a creature that's surprised, that attack is a critical hit. This catapults a short sword or short bow sneak attack from 3d6 to 6d6. Now that's a lot of damage, and it only keeps going up from there. So start jotting down creative ways to take out your marks, and pretty soon you'll start racking up more goofy kills than one of those 80s themed slashers nobody remembers.
Yo, holy shit, he dead!
We also get steady aim at this level, which can come in handy every once in a while, but since we start off most rounds with advantage anyway, giving up movement and a bonus action for just advantage can be pricey, so maybe just use your own judgment. Luckily, if we get stuck in a jam, we can avoid getting smoked with Uncanny Dodge at level 5 to spend your reaction to half the damage of an incoming attack, more expertise at level 6 to get even gooder at the stuff we're goodest at, as well as evasion at level 7 to take 0 damage on any successful dexterity saving throw or only half damage on a failure. Because if you can't tank your way through an encounter, you'll at least need to be slippery. But that'll get us to 9th level with our most controversial assassin ability, Infiltration Expertise. And from the start, it's pretty cool. You can establish a history, profession, and affiliations for an identity that allows you access to a given space for the cost of only 25 gold. This could get you things like an invitation, a signed certificate, and a disguise that any creature you come across pretty much just believes right out the gate. But doing all of this takes 7 whole days. Yikes. And while that makes sense to give your assassin ample opportunity to establish themselves, that's a long time. I'll talk about this more later, but this ability, while I think is cool, is really difficult to use correctly, so make sure you're always planning these hits with pinpoint precision to never be caught in the act. But our level 11 ability, Reliable Talent, might make up for it. Reliable Talent is one of my favorite abilities in 5e, making sure the lowest number we can roll on a skill we're proficient in is a straight 10, and adding bonuses up from there. Insanely good for breaking and entering the tiptoe tango or figuring out where your target keeps their car key so you can get out of here in style. And at lucky level 13, we'll become an imposter. To learn how to perfectly mimic speech, writing, and behavior of an individual you study for at least 3 hours, and you're so good at this master of disguise trick that no one can tell the difference until you flub your deception check. But at that point, we're pretty much close enough to the target to leave them sleeping with the fishes and make your way out of the turtle club with none being the wiser.
Am I not turtly enough for the turtle club?
14th level gets us blind sense to detect the location of any hidden or invisible creatures within 10 feet of you. 15th level will give us a slippery mind to gain proficiency in wisdom saving throws, but we'll finally become a master assassin at level 17 with Death Strike. Now, if you take on a creature that's surprised, your attack against them will force a constitution saving throw, and on a failure, that attack does double damage on top of a critical hit. That means our short sword is not only doing 20d6 of damage from the crit, that's 1d6 short sword plus 9d6 sneak attack doubled, you then double your total again. That's right, your total, meaning your ability modifiers and any enchantment bonuses get doubled as well. This is an insane amount of damage in one shot, going for like 150 average. Plenty to chunk the hell out of most creatures, and probably enough to make a goblin just explode. But to wrap up this deadly present, we'll get Elusive at level 18 so that no creature ever has advantage against you as long as you're awake, as well as Stroke of Luck at level 20 to turn a miss into a hit, or treat a d20 as a straight 20 once per long rest. But is the Assassin the most killer rogue subclass? The Assassin is classic, it's deadly, and unfortunately, it's just a little bit janky. On the one hand, you seem to get everything you want, with abilities to get the drop on bad guys, get into places unnoticed, and wear all kinds of disguises. But weirdly, this subclass is really dependent on your DM's interpretation of the rules. The surprise condition is the most important thing you'll want to try to exploit as an assassin, but from what I can tell, a lot of DMs don't run surprised the same way. Some treat every encounter started in stealth as a surprise round, while others seem to treat surprised as a stealth check, even if you or the enemy are staring each other in the face. I think of the surprise condition kind of the same way Baldur's Gate does, where the creature for sure has to have no indication that you're even in the room to be surprised by you, but that can make infiltration difficult, especially with a party full of armored tin cans following behind you, which in turn makes it even more difficult to use your best 2 abilities. The Infiltration Expertise ability is also a mess, as that 7-day waiting period is just way too long. In most campaigns, you don't even really get 7 days of downtime to sit around for the rogue to make up a backstory, so you're either never gonna use this, or force your party to do odd jobs for a week so you can figure out how to pose as a waiter for 10 minutes. The easy fix for this is to just make it an hour. You're a 9th level rogue, for f***'s sake. Your spellcasters are already learning brain-melting spells. You can pay off a manager to let you work night shift at top Taco Bell for some espionage. It's really not that far of a stretch. But with some small tweaks and good opportunities to whip out the stabby boys, the assassin can work wonderfully. You remember the guys that ruin assassins by trying to act cool? Yeah, that's me, okay? Sometimes you just want to play an edgelord. Nobody does that better than my dude here. You've got an insane amount of potential to get off damage, and that scaling with your sneak attack is great for keeping up with other classes, and as long as you watch out for legendary resistances, Stroke of Death can be amazing. But for me, some of this complication does hold it back. I think the assassin has the right elements here, it's just not put together in the way that makes the most sense. But if you don't care about that, that's fine. You get enough here to have a lot of fun, and I really can't blame you for wanting to cosplay Vax'ildan. So go forth and lead people to the other side in your own special way. Just remember, always show respect.
Requiescat in pace, bastardo.
So if you've got a special hood for every occasion, made up a backstory so sad it's sure to make everyone cry at least once, and have a creepy amount of knowledge on how long it takes pigs to devour a body, guess what? You might be an assassin. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. There's been a lot of depressing stories in the news lately, especially if you're here in the States, and you'll hear some weird stuff about different groups of people all the time, and honestly it's pretty easy to get discouraged about the future. But if that happens, I hope you remember that real gold is not afraid of a melting pot. A saying I wish I could give credit for, but a good one nonetheless. Differences in upbringing, class, and culture all make us who we are, and I think that's important for everyday life. But I know all of you are solid gold anyway. If you want to shout out like these awesome people, make sure to hop over to the Patreon where you can subscribe for just $1, with top-tiered patrons getting games DM'd by me. So to Spider Lover, King Osirosaurus, and Tedsy and Miles Not Yards, y'all are the best, and we'll be playing again very soon. To everyone else, come see me over on the Discord, but until next time, I hope you have the best of days, and I'll see you very soon.